would like to call to order the April meeting of the Morrisville Planning and Zoning Board. If you would join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, let's get working, Mike. Okay. Any changes to the agenda? Okay, thank you. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda. Oh, thank you.
All in favor? Aye. So if Tim is here, both alternates, well, actually, he's an alternate, so never mind. Yeah, so you will be voting tonight. So, oh, actually, Sashama is voting tonight. Sorry. All the changes, it's hard to keep up with. Do any other changes to the agenda? I mean, to the, losing my mind here, the minutes. Any changes to the minutes? Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
All right. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Do we have any public comment outside of the items that are under consideration? Seeing none, we can move on to the old business. Thanks.
That's not on. Not even sure I need this, but. All right. So I do have a few updates regarding the UDO amendments item that you all heard last month. So let's start with, we'll just go through the, this is just an overview, but we'll get more into detail as we go through. We'll start with the tobacco and hemp sales use. There was a good amount of discussion at the March 14th meeting. As a reminder, let me find slide 6 here. Staff did ask for, or the board asked for a 1,000-foot buffer map to see the comparison. Staff put together, I've got the 500-foot, the 1,000-foot, and then this is the two combined, so you can see them overlapping each other. And then also for the 1,000-foot, the board also requested that we include places of worship and public parks and greenways in the map as well. So I separated, or staff, we separated out the greenways into a separate map. As you can see, once you include those greenways, it starts to get a little messy with the amount of buffering going on in the town. And so for that reason, staff updated our proposed recommendation as far as language goes to the 1,000 feet, but only included the schools, daycares, public parks, or recreation facilities and places of worship. We did not include the greenways, simply, seemed excessive, I will say. And then also there was discussion about the definition language as well. Staff has updated that. Specifically, it said certain amount of THC in that definition. We've updated that to any amount per the board's recommendation, make it less vague. And that is it for that section. If you all would like to discuss section by section.
Makes sense.
Yep.
So Chris, I guess we'll start with you.
I think it looks great.
Yep.
Kirsten.
I mean, given the size of the town, I would probably go with the 500-foot, but I think everybody else was more in favor of the 1,000-foot. I mean, I think it just really starts to limit because of the size of the town, but I mean, if everyone else wants a 1,000-foot, I would not hold it up over that.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's what the current, he changed the language to say that. We could also recommend another way if you felt strongly about either one.
So most of the town has a 1,000-foot buffer. So that's the reason, Uh-huh. It would be nice to have 1,000-foot buffer. That means, it's not going to be easy to get access to those material.
Yeah, and I think just kind of in response, my initial gut was the same, 500 feet. But I think after mapping the board's request, seeing the 1,000 feet, even with the places of worship and the public parks included, we felt there was still extensive amount of space, in varying different zoning districts to still allow this use to come in if it wanted to. So that's why we changed our recommendation to what we did.
That makes sense.
I mean, yeah, I was looking at this. To me, I mean, I could go either way. I could definitely go with the 500 feet, but it doesn't look like it really blocks out much, other than maybe Grace Park, because of the daycare being kind of where it is there. Like, for the most part, it doesn't really block out any space that you really could have it anyway, because a lot of these are residential or other areas. So, like,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, I mean, once, it becomes very visible, and I can even zoom in a little bit better for you. But, got all, future TOD area, you've got, McCrimmon, all the industrial management area, some of the activity center districts. So, yeah, after discussion, we felt like there was plenty of space for potential tenants in the future.
any other questions or comments? Okay. All right, you can move ahead, Mr. Ward.
All right, so. Okay, so for masonry painting, there wasn't a whole lot of discussion, but staff did realize yesterday, actually. So this is a slide that was not in your packet that we've added today, and we republished the agenda packet. But we did realize there's kind of a gap. Once we were proposing to allow masonry to be painted, we did realize that signs could be painted directly onto a building, and there was nothing in the UDO that prevented that. So what we've done is added any sign painted directly on a building or structure. So that would be prohibited in the sign code. We made sure this does not include murals because they have their own separate set of regulations. So that is why that was added in there. And that's all we had for the masonry painting. I don't know if you had any questions about that or any other discussion.
Any questions?
Okay. All right. As far as greenhouse and nursery, this one also had quite a bit of conversation at the last meeting. I think, we had some discussions with some of the development community. We did a little more research, and after looking at, after a little more consideration, we decided that it might make more sense to we recommend removing it from this round of amendments until we have more time to research, come back when we have a better idea of what we're dealing with. There are potential options. I know a big deal was the light pollution. We didn't realize just how bad it could be until we started doing a little more research. There are options to mitigate that light pollution, and I think we're going to tour a couple of facilities, look more in depth in what could be added. But that is our recommendation for it to just be removed from this round right now.
Any comments?
All right, and then our town engineer, Mark Spagnoli, is here. He will cover this new section that we did add in.
I saw you snuck that one in there.
Thank you, Elliot. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Spagnoli. I'm the Director of Engineering. Thank you for having me this evening. Just to give you a little background before we get into this section of the presentation, the town's currently actively working on the design of the new public works facility together with Wade County, and they're working on their convenience center design at the same time. So this sort of pertains to that, so we're going to get into that a little more detail. This section pertains to government accessory buildings and specifically speaks to our proposed exemptions that we have proposed. The proposed changes would only pertain to accessory buildings that the town develops under the government maintenance, storage, or distribution facility use classification. And basically this pertains directly to our public works facility. There really isn't any other buildings that would fall under this classification since it's a government use. I do want to emphasize that this does not pertain to the primary structures, just the accessory structures in this case. The primary structures, nothing would change related to that. Those would comply with the UDO requirements. So the main facility that we're proposing for the Public Works project will meet the architectural guidelines and standards and will be the primary structure that faces aviation once we complete our development. The accessory structures proposed at Public Works are a few of them: a large 3-sided storage shed, a vehicle wash station, salt storage, and bulk storage for fill, mulch, and rock material. Those are the ones that would fall under the exemptions that we're proposing for the accessory structures. For the most part, the accessory structures at this particular facility will not be in view from aviation, and the access to those accessory structures will only be by town staff. They're not meant for the public use. The accessory structures proposed currently exceed the 2,000 square foot threshold in the UDO, so that's the reason why under the current regulations they would have to meet all the wall expression, fenestration standards, and exterior material standards. And in this case, it's relatively impractical for these buildings to meet those standards based on the way they're used. Most of them have heavy equipment being operated in and around them, and they're not for public use. So this is the primary reason why we're proposing these changes. If you look at the concept plan, just to give you a point of reference, you can see right in the center is the Public Works building is being proposed. That building is the one that primarily faces aviation and will meet all the UDO requirements. Most of the other buildings are behind that: the truck wash, the salt storage, and the 3-sided shed. The bulk storage area is also on aviation, but will be behind the required tree buffer area for that proposed section. The proposed Public Works building, just for reference, a 2-story building, about 15,000 square feet. And just for additional information, the Wake County Convenience Center project, that will meet all the UDO requirements. That doesn't fall into this section. They're proposing a structure that will meet all the requirements, and that's the one that's mostly publicly facing because the public will be accessing that property regularly. Okay, so just to get into the details of the changes, we're proposing a section 4.2 change: government maintenance, storage, distribution facility, and administrative government service. And you can see here what we're proposing. Uses shall not be subject to the accessory uses and structure standards in section 4.3.3.8.4. And one more change in section 5.9. The standards in this section shall not apply to accessory buildings and structures associated with government maintenance, storage, or distribution facility and administrative government service uses. So I'm here to entertain any questions you may have.
Thank you. Sushima?
No questions.
The only question I have, I guess I was looking at the map earlier when I was reading this. Where the bulk storage area, is that about where the convenience center currently is located? Am I wrong on that?
Sort of. I think it's a little bit
Maybe
to
a
the
little
left
further.
of the
Okay,
screen.
okay.
That area right now I think is vacant.
Okay, yeah, right, there's a whole bunch of vacant, I was just trying to place it in my mind exactly where this was, and I couldn't tell how.
A little bit to the left of that
So I
spot.
guess the idea obviously is to build this and then do away with the convenience center that's currently there. Is that the?
That's right. That's
And
right.
this would be kind of built all in conjunction, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so our facility will be built first, and then their facility will be built second.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions? All right, I guess
Thank you so much.
we have Mr. Warback, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. So if there are no other questions or comments, this is the ordinance language. If you all do decide to go with our recommendation, removing greenhouses for this round, you would just read your state your recommendation without mentioning greenhouses.
Thank you.
And the ordinance and presentation will be updated prior to town council as well.
Okay, all right, cool, thank you. Any other questions? Comments? Anybody want to try to read the motion and do we want to leave out greenhouses? I guess we should have a discussion about that. I think that,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
I feel
think
like
we should.
everyone. Okay. So if that's the case, someone wants to read that and skip the greenhouses?
I'll make the motion. I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-46-0, the Morrisville Town Council approving text amendments to the Unified Development Ordinance related to masonry painting, tobacco and hemp sales, government accessory buildings, architectural exemptions, and stormwater management.
Do we have a second? All right. All in favor? Aye. Carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we can move on to staff comments.
Only 6:48.
I know, maybe a record.
And first of all, I wanted to thank the board again for being willing to meet tonight. I know this is not your normal meeting night, so do appreciate that. Don't have a lot of updates since the last meeting. The town is still working with Habitat for Humanity to explore that partnership for potential affordable housing on Church Street, and we are also still evaluating a potential rental assistance program. So no real updates there yet from our last meeting. I do want to remind everyone that we are in the Phase 2 public engagement for the Morrisville Parkway Access Management Study. That has been live for some time and will close on April 7th. So if you have not gone in and taken a look at that, encourage you to do so, and encourage you to encourage your fellow residents to take a look at that as well. That will close on April 7th.
And where will that link be found?
If you go on the town website to our major projects page, there is a web page for the Morrisville Parkway Access Management Study. There have also been a lot posted on social media, and there are links through there, but you could find it through the town webpage. And then we are also still working on the Sturb Iron Creek Mill Street Greenway feasibility study. That's the greenway that would eventually be constructed and kind of go from Aviation up along kind of the McCrimmon area and eventually hopefully connect to the Triangle Bikeway, which you may be aware is a project that's on the books but not yet developed. So hoping to wrap that one up in June. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Any board comments, Sushma? Ken? Kristen?
Thanks for making the updates.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. The motion carries unanimously. Thank you, everyone.